Welcome to Discipleship Hoops Podcast, where basketball meets purpose. This isn't just about mastering skills on the court, it's about developing the complete athlete. We're here to help young players grow stronger, smarter, and more skilled while deepening their character and strengthening their faith. At Discipleship Hoops, we believe basketball is more than a game. It's a platform for transformation, teaching discipline, teamwork, and resilience. Together, let's empower the next generation of leaders to excel both on and off the court. This is Discipleship Hoops through basketball.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to the latest and greatest edition of the Discipleship Hoops Podcast. Continuing on with having phenomenal and great coaches from our great state of Mississippi. Nothing comes short of this coach here. Before 2 months ago, I was calling it probably like most of everyone that's seeing is pillow, right? Like the pillow you lay down.
Yeah.
But
That's usually what we get.
But I was quickly educated that it's Pillow Academy out up here in the Delta. Coach Andrew Mitchell, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day and joining the podcast today.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. So for those listeners outside of the MAIS bubble, right?
Yeah. It's a small bubble.
Yes. Introduce yourself to our podcast viewers and your role here at Pillow Academy.
Yeah, I'm Coach Andrew Mitchell. I am the head boys varsity basketball coach here at Pillow. I've been here for 7 years. I've been the head coach for 4. I started when I was 19, so got some really good experience when I was young, still in school. And man, it's been great. I've been truly blessed to be around a lot of the people that I'm around, and I have been around while being here. And it's been awesome. It's been a blessing. And it's just, it is more than I could have asked for. I've been truly blessed to be here.
And so let's see if I can do my math right. If you started at 19, you've been here 7 years. That makes you about 26,
Yep,
27.
26.
All right, so a young coach still, relatively, even though you've coached for a long time. Old in coaching years and young in age years.
Yeah.
And so what's it like to coach, here in the Delta and the storms and just all the things that go on up this way? What's it like coaching at a place like this?
Man, well, first of all, one of the coolest things about Pillow in general is this gym that we're in right now.
Yeah.
And, I know I've said things have been a blessing a lot, but it truly is to be in a place like this and in this gym and be able to practice in it every day and play in it every night. And it's been a whole lot of fun to be in this gym. But the Delta in general, man, it was a bit of a culture shock moving up here, being from the Jackson area, and I didn't know hardly anybody coming up here when I came to Delta State, so I could, come on as an assistant coach here. Didn't know anybody at Delta State. Knew one person here, and that's who I came to work for, is Wes Prather.
Yeah.
And so he's the only person I knew at Pillow. Didn't know anybody at Delta State. So it was definitely a culture shock that I said I hated for probably my first year of being here.
All right.
But I fell in love with it, man. It truly has been a great place to be.
Yeah, that's good. So let's stay right there with culture for a little bit. So you're coaching multiple levels.
Yeah.
The younger kids, junior high kids and the high school as well. But not just that though, you're coaching alongside a legend in our sport on the girls' side, right? Coach Carpenter.
Yep.
All right. And so when it comes to culture and just learning from him and building your own coaching, philosophy and things like that.
Yeah.
So how has that experience been like?
Oh man, it's been awesome. To be able to get a firsthand look at, that program.
Yep.
And to see their success from, being right here. It's been really cool to see how that works. And, when I came on here, like I mentioned him a minute ago, but Coach Wes Prather, I I played for him at Hillcrest Christian School in Jackson, and I mean he's got a long list of achievements there.
Right.
And I mean we won championships there. He won multiple championships as an assistant and a head coach. So I mean I've been around some great coaches and seen how people run a program the right way, and seeing how championship coaches run their programs and see the things that the in and outs that they do. And that's experience that you can't get anywhere else.
Right.
Or then that's things that you pick up that you can't pick up anywhere else. So that's been really cool, and it's been a really good experience in that way.
Yeah, it's good. And so, I don't know, maybe it's just more video out there now, but you see a lot of, well, I've seen just through social media, a lot of like just angry fans and angry, I mean, fans fighting and players fighting. And it's just, I don't know, again, maybe it's just because it's being recorded more now than ever.
Yeah.
But I just don't remember like basketball creating so much chaos and confusion as it has this year.
Yeah.
Not just, in our own league, I'm talking about across the world.
Right.
That I just see things like that. So for you, coming from Hillcrest, your father, coming from a pastor, right, in ministry and all that, and then just how basketball, John Wooden says that basketball reveals character, doesn't build it.
Yeah.
And so like just all those things is going on. How do you manage to keep like kids with high character, instilling that? And so like when people come in and they watch your teams play, what do you want them to see and say about your guys?
Yeah. So, I say this at the end of every season after our last game. I say it no matter what our outcome was. If we won one game, if we won 20 games, whatever. I say, and it's mainly to the seniors because they're done playing for me.
Right.
And I say all the time, I say this a lot, but definitely after our last game, that if you learn more about basketball from me than about Jesus or life, then I failed you.
Right.
And I genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely a pillar in our program, is our faith.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just think that's what our ultimate job is as high school coaches, is to be somebody that can teach these guys about life.
Right.
And obviously we want to win games, we want to win championships, we want to be the best coach we can be. But at the end of the day, I mean, if our goal isn't to make the players we have better when they leave us,
right,
then I think we've got our priorities mixed up, and I think we've got them in the wrong spot. So yeah, faith is a huge pillar in our program, and it's something that I really, really, really encourage and strive to get my guys to let it be a priority in their life.
Right.
And I would like my programs to always be an outlet for the gospel. Yep. I want my guys to be able to say they regularly heard the gospel.
Yep.
And it's not something that, it's not just a half-hearted pregame devotion or just try to get them pumped up. Like it's a genuine ministry.
Right.
And because as coaches, I mean, our programs that's our platform for ministry.
Yep.
And I don't think there's, I mean, we've got too much we have too much leverage on their lives to not use it as that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, they take our words. So I mean, anything we say to our players and to kids, I mean, it's going to get taken either 100%. That's the best thing I've ever heard, or 100% that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Right.
And so our words carry a lot of weight with these kids, and I think that just gives us all the ammo in the world to use our programs as outlets for the gospel. So I think we have to do that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, really, from October to February, we probably see them more than their parents.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, they're tired of us by the time the season's over.
Yes. So that influence is key, which is like one of the biggest reasons why I started this Discipleship Hoops program, is because like I want, and we tell our kids all the time, is that I will always care more about your character than your scoring average.
Yeah.
Right. Because what happens is that if you are a young man with great character, then your scoring average will automatically improve.
Yes, it's going to reflect that.
Exactly.
And it's got a weird way about it, but it reflects that. You can,
yes.
I mean, somebody's game in some way, or form is going to reflect who they are as a person.
Yep.
You know, it might not necessarily in scoring, but just, you know, you can almost tell about a kid just who that kid is as a person by the way they play.
Yeah.
And by the effort they give, or the, you know, what they hold important, and stuff like that.
Yep. That's true. And basketball is a game that if you treat it right, it will reward you.
Yeah.
Right.
No doubt.
But if you do not, then it will not.
It'll expose you.
Like, it's not really any gray area. You know, basketball is a one sport, and I mean, of course, you know, I'm biased, but it's like I can take a kid on a football field and I can hide them. Right. Basketball, like you can't hide on the court. Right?
I mean, there's only 10 guys out there. You're only putting 5 guys out there.
Yeah, that's right. So I think it's important to continue to, you know, and one thing that I had to, in my training, one thing that I had to stop doing was training kids' potential and train who they are.
Where they are, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and like I had to repent and just ask God just to forgive me for like saying, oh man, one day you can be this.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you do this, then you will eventually get to this. And like, no, where you are right now, let's make the best version of you right now. And so it's something that I really had to change up in my training.
Yeah.
And again, I had to repent and ask for forgiveness for it.
Because that's so easy to get caught up in, is you see a kid that you're like, oh, I know they could be here.
Right.
And you're so focused on that you forget about where they are. And that's something that happens all the time.
Yeah. So coaching multiple levels and talking about development, what's your key philosophy when it comes to developing?
Thank you to Season 2 sponsor, Dogwood Pediatric Dentistry. At Dogwood Pediatric Dentistry, they go far and beyond providing top-tier dental care in Flowood. They create a warm, fun, and compassionate environment where your child feels safe and valued. Their mission is to partner with parents in nurturing healthy smiles throughout your child's formative years. They are committed to offering state-of-the-art care while ensuring every visit is enjoyable and stress-free. Dogwood Pediatric Dentistry. You can reach them at 601-992-0007 or send them an email, dogwoodpediatricdentistry@gmail.com. Thank you, Dogwood Pediatric Dentistry.
Man, so, you know, I coached the 7th grade team. I coached our 8th grade team, coached junior high, coached high school. And so, you know, that has its few cons, but I don't see it as a negative at all. That's like, I have my hand over the program, my stamp is on the program, and I get to be responsible for what I want these kids knowing when we are on a junior high team trying to win a championship, and we are on a high school team. And so I think it's a luxury. And, you know, I've gotten to where, you know, I have an exact, this is what I want you to know by this time. And so that's been really, that's paid off a lot. You know, I get to really teach these kids, and I think game IQ is the biggest thing that the younger kids need to know. I mean, obviously they gotta learn they want to get in and they want to do dribble combos and step backs and all this stuff. But if they can learn how to read a game and make decisions, and you help improve their decision making, all that stuff's gonna come. And then obviously you got to rep it and you have to work that kind of stuff. But game reading and game decisions is that's our biggest emphasis with the younger ones. And it's still our biggest emphasis with the high school. It just kind of, there's more layers on top of that. But that's the number one thing that, my younger guys are working on or the days that I have them in here, is we got to learn how to make game decisions, game-based reads, game-based decisions, and how to work into those decisions. Or, okay, well, so once we have this advantage, what are we going to do here?
Exactly.
And, being able to replicate the things that come in a game, because again, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. So, I mean, that's the thing we probably have the most emphasis on with the younger guys, is being able to make decisions. I mean, and I know that's a broad, decision making is a broad category, but when you break it down into specific layers, then that's
that's good. I work with a lot of 5th and 6th graders and 7th graders, that age group, and it's like they walk into the gym and first thing they do is get a ball and go behind the 3-point
Yep.
line.
Yep.
And like,
That's their favorite spot.
That's their favorite spot, right? And then you know, the older kids, it's 3-point or trying to dunk, right? It's like,
Yep.
and the hardest thing for me to get kids to understand is like, yes, Steph Curry is the greatest 3-point shooter of our generation. But he started at 5 making layups.
Yep.
He didn't start at 5 shooting 3-pointers. You know, like
yeah. I mean, I'm not anti 3-pointer at all.
Right.
Like I mean, I love the 3-ball.
Yes,
right. I mean, I wish we would have shot more threes this year. But I mean, yeah, there's a time and place for it.
Yes.
And they, I mean, obviously they got to learn how to shoot it. But
Right.
yeah, there's a time and place for it.
So in that development and all those different levels, right? You want to hold kids accountable for their actions, and it's during the season. You know, it's hard for parents to understand that as a coach during the season, it's not our job to get your kids better, right? It's our job to take what your kids come to us as and plug them into what we're doing, system that we're doing, right? Or you know, however that looks like, and we don't have time to like one-on-one left hand dribbling and all that stuff, right? So I think that's a lot of things that's missing. I call it the AAU culture of basketball now, as where a lot of kids don't work on their game outside of practice. Right. And you know, there's zero way in a 45-minute or hour and 45-minute practice we can get you ready for the game.
Yep. Especially we got 2 conference games this week and a game on Saturday.
Right.
I mean, that's not what we're worried about right now.
18 other kids sitting on the bench looking for the same thing.
Yep.
You know, so when it comes to like holding kids accountable, especially again in this AAU culture of kids want to be coddled instead of coached, like what's that fine line for you in discipline and accountability to like, you know, we tell our kids, like our point guard this year, Pepper Wilson, right? Well, Pepper had a little bit more freedom to shoot because we know that at 7 o'clock at night, Pepper's in the gym working on shots.
And you can tell too.
Right. Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock, Pepper's in the gym by himself working on shots. So we trust him to take a little bit more tougher shots. Right?
I mean, he's earned that trust.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So like, how do you like get kids to see that, hey, it's work, especially the kids that say, I want to play at the next level.
Yeah. So I think that all starts from like the relationship building aspect of coaching.
Right.
And that's my favorite part of coaching. And that's what I think, you know, that's what I think my best area is. I think that is what I have a truly God-given gift at, is being able to reach kids.
Right.
I don't think it's the X's and O's, which I love that part of the game, but I think what I excel at is the being able to reach kids and being able to bond with kids and get them, you know, and get buy-in.
Right.
And so that, I think the relationship building part, I think you do that from a genuine heart, not okay, I'm just doing this so it'll benefit me, but like a genuine, like this is my player. I'm gonna bring him in. He's mine.
Right.
So, you know, when we have that genuine love for our guys and, you know, a genuine care to see them succeed and to, you know, you know, fulfill their wants and needs and to, you know, put them in a position to succeed, I think we form that trust with them.
Right.
And I think once you have that real trust, that's when you can be harder on guys. And when I say be harder on them, I don't mean just, you know, screaming at them, going crazy on them.
Right.
I mean, that's got its time and place.
Right.
But,
ask Coach Goodman.
But I think that trust earns you some you being able to coach them harder.
Right. Yeah.
And so, you know, with that comes, okay, you can hold this guy accountable.
Right.
You can start to be tougher on this guy. You can start to expect more from this guy.
Right.
And I'm not saying our expectations, I don't think they should drop. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like once that trust is there,
they
know the expectation, and you can hold them accountable to that.
Right.
You can, because of that relationship, because they know you truly love them.
Right.
And you truly want the best for them.
Right.
I mean, they're gonna want to play harder for you.
Yeah.
And I think that allows you to hold guys accountable.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the more time you spend with guys I mean, allows you to coach them harder,
Right.
and to coach them with higher expectations and hold them to higher standards.
Yep.
And so I think all of that boils down to what kind of relationship do you have with your players,
Yeah.
and is it I'm trying to get you to do this so I can be successful,
Right.
or do you genuinely want the success for the guys that you are pouring into?
Right. Exactly right.
And if that's the case, then you're gonna get that out of your guys.
Yep. That's true. And really, you don't have to like force it out of them.
Yeah.
It just happens naturally
Yep.
in that round. Having the luxury and the pleasure to watch Coach Bill Ball
Yeah.
and work under him for the past 2 years, he has a masterful way of yelling at kids, but also lifting them up in the same 4 words. Right?
Yeah, I've probably seen that multiple times.
It's masterful how he does it. Like he got his arm around a kid, chewing the kid out, but also saying you're gonna make the next shot. You know what I mean? Like it's just masterful how he does that. And so from year 1 at 19 to now year 7 at 26, what have you grown into doing that? You did this year that at 20 years old, you probably would have ripped the kid a new one and set him down for the whole game.
Yeah.
But now it's more of a, loving relationship.
Yeah. And there's definitely times where they still get ripped. That still happens. But I would say in that area, the biggest thing I've learned is you can't coach all responsibilities the same way. I mean, personalities the same way.
Right.
And not saying kids are held to different standards, because everybody's held to a high standard.
Exactly.
Everybody's held to the same standard.
Right.
But I mean, different buttons are going to work at different places. And I mean, this kid may be able to. I mean, you may be able to get on this kid every time he does this, and it's gonna pop him right back into place, and he's locked in, yes sir, and he fixes it. But this kid, you raise your voice at all, he might be shut down for. He's done for the day. I mean, you won't get his best for the rest of practice.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And so, that's something that I've learned, and I feel like I've improved at in the last few years, is being able to find what button makes this kid go.
Right.
And realizing that every kid cannot get ripped and then just be perfectly fine.
Right.
And we've got one kid in our program right now that you can, and I'm not saying this is motivation to do this, but you can rip him. I mean, for 5 straight minutes, and it's yes sir, and he fixes it right there. And it doesn't faze him for a second.
Right. Yeah.
But then I mean, there's kids that if you look at them sideways, and then they're like, oh well, I'm the worst basketball player in the world.
Yes.
And
my coach hates me.
Yeah.
Thank you for this season's sponsor, Power Financial Group. The mission of Power Financial Group is to glorify God by helping their clients be good managers of the resources entrusted to them. Whether it is investing for the future, planning for retirement, getting out of debt, or becoming a generous giver, their desire is to be your trusted partner on your financial journey. The team at Power Financial Group strives to serve their clients with integrity and excellence. Getting to know them, building a strong relationship with them, and helping them pursue their goals is the top priority. They take seriously their God-given responsibility to faithfully serve those families God entrusted to their care. That's Power Financial Group. They can be reached at 601-790-1180 or send them an email at info@powerfinancialclaims.com. Thank you again, Power Financial Group.
But man, that's something that I think I've did not take into account at all. Probably my first 2 years as a head coach, is that you can't do that to all kids, and you can't. And that's just, and that's not an effective way of coaching either. Is just being mad all the time,
right.
Being this monster,
right.
But it's just learning how to coach different kids, and learning how to, learning how to make each kid go, and seeing what motivates this kid isn't what motivates this kid.
Exactly.
And the same thing with this one and this one, and that's a big thing that I have tried to work on in the past few years.
So let me ask you this then. So it's like not just past year, but a year before that, we had a Division I point guard, right? He's playing at ULM right now, and he was when he spoke, everyone else got quiet, sat down, and paid attention.
Yeah.
Right. He was a vocal leader. And then, mentioned Pepper. Pepper was more of he's not going to really talk. He's a type of leader that's like, all right, fine, I'll just go show you how it's done.
Yeah.
Right? I'll go get a bucket. Right?
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
that was his leadership
Right.
role. And so, and like, that's okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we all want that vocal, leader that stands up and talks and everyone else hushes and gets in line and goes. Well, that's just not the case anymore with, with kids today.
Right.
Some kids are just not vocal. They just want to just give me the ball and play.
Yep.
All right. So how have you found yourself balancing that over the years, especially with the different level of the programs?
Right.
Like, you may have a 7th grader that's very vocal.
Yeah.
Then you may have a 9th grader that won't say a word.
Yeah.
And the 7th grader will find himself telling him what to do at times, Yeah.
For sure. Man, so, and I know you're talking about Wiggy, right? The one playing at ULM.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, being a point guard too, I mean, if your point guard is one of your best players and vocal, I mean, that's a dream, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's what you want.
Yes.
That's a coach on the floor.
Right.
So I've always, now there's nothing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having somebody who's not as vocal and they lead by what they do on the floor, because that's great, that's awesome, you got to have that.
Right.
But there is nothing, I don't think there's anything like somebody who does that and also leads vocally. I mean, that's hard to come by. Like you just said, that's just not a common thing anymore.
Right.
And so I think if you have that, if somebody's fortunate enough to have that kind of player in their program, I mean, that's so helpful.
Yeah.
And that is, like I said, that's a dream. That's somebody that you as a coach want their input too.
Exactly right. Yeah.
You want them to be that leader. You want the other guys to go up to them and ask questions.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something that we all strive to have, especially in a point guard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of point guard you want.
Yeah.
Like our this past season, our point guard was our most vocal guy.
Yeah.
And he's a senior. I mean, he's been in our program for a long time. And I mean, that he made, in a lot of areas, I mean, he made my job easier.
Right.
And, of echoing the things that I wanted and echoing and being, like I said, being a coach on the floor.
Right.
So I think a vocal leader who is also somebody who leads by what they do by example too is, I mean, that's a dream. That's something every coach wants, every coach strives to have.
Yes,
and,
definitely.
that's the kind of player we all want to build.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
So 3-part question,
Mm-hmm.
okay, for you. All right, so I want you to speak to 3 different people.
Okay.
First, that young coach that's just getting into it, been in, a year or two, and just like, what have I gotten myself into? All right, other than don't do it, what advice would you give him?
Yeah.
Get out while you can.
Right.
And then to the parents, and it comes to managing expectations of playing time,
Mm-hmm.
and why little Johnny is not playing, right? How do you, what advice will you give to them in managing expectations? And then also to players out there, like to players that's have more excuses and justifications than commitment.
Yeah.
Right. And say they want to play at the next level. Right. What advice can you give them to just how to dig in and take their game to the next level?
Yeah. So to the young coach, which I've still got to tell myself this stuff too, because I mean I'm still young, and I've been a head coach for about 4 years, but I mean, man, there's still so much that I have to learn, and I learn every single day. And I think we all keep learning, throughout our entire careers. But there's still so much that is beyond me, and so many areas that I'm still not even close to being where I need to be in. So, I mean, all this stuff, I say to myself too, man, it is coaching has some very high highs and some extremely low lows.
Yes, definitely.
And so, and this is something I struggle with, is letting, whatever moment or whatever season maybe, or, just the latest thing that has happened, I let that kind of control, my thoughts. And that's something that I've had to, get a lot better at here, and at least even in the past year.
Right.
But in the past 2 to 3 years, big time, is letting whatever moment I'm in, or like I said, the latest thing that's happened, is control what my thoughts are, and not just being able to keep my head down and understand that, like, well, there's a plan for my life. There is a, there is it keeping my head down and thinking, I don't want to sound cliche, but like, it is a marathon, and it's not just this one bad thing happens, oh, you're done.
Right,
I mean,
right.
you're a horrible coach.
Right.
And so,
Right.
that would be my biggest advice to somebody like getting into it is how much you have to keep your head down, and you just have to keep working, and you just have to understand that there's going to be lots of lows in coaching, and there's lots of highs too.
Right.
And in my experience, the highs have come. Obviously, there's been big games we've won that I've enjoyed and had a lot of fun coaching. But all my highs, or my favorite highs, are from relationships I've built with players, and then past players, and getting to see these guys grow up into the people they are.
Right.
And being able to talk to kids about their relationship with Jesus and things like that. But and to parents, I think a huge thing with younger kids and with parents now, and I think a lot of it has to do with that AAU culture you talked about, travel ball culture, is how young they start to specialize in a sport. Whether that's basketball, baseball, football, soccer, whatever sport it is. I mean, kids need to play. They need to play everything.
Yes.
They need to play multiple sports for as long as they can. And I think that is something that if parents were more, if they promoted that more, I think that's something that would help out all coaches, obviously. But I just think that makes for better life lessons. I think it makes for better preparation in a lot of areas, because there's so many things you can take from all athletics and all competition and anything that's competitive that you can apply to any area in life. And so I think that's something that parents could get better at. I struggle to say that, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Not your parents.
Not our parents. Right. Not the Pillow Academy parents. But and then letting their children be uncomfortable.
Oh yes.
Because man, we don't grow in comfort.
Exactly.
In life, in athletics, in anything, we don't grow in comfort. We grow through adversity.
Very true.
And I think parents, and look, this is not a parent saying this, but I think parents are very quick to, the second their child is uncomfortable, they're like, I gotta save him or her from that. And that's where we grow. So when a coach is pushing a player past their breaking point, and they're trying to get them to that level of being uncomfortable, that the growth lives there.
Exactly.
And so that's where our kids got to be, is in that state of being uncomfortable. And who are they when they face adversity? When things aren't easy, are they going to quit? Are they going to power through it? Or are they going to bear down and they're going to get better? Or like I said, are they going to quit? That's kind of our two of our answers to that. And quitting and not doing something because it's too difficult. I mean, that's usually our answer.
True. Very true.
And I think that's something parents could help with too, is not running from adversity, or not letting their child run from adversity.
Very true.
And not letting their child be uncomfortable. I think that, because like I said, that's where growth lives. And what was the third one?
To young players, or to just your high school players, right, that say they want to play at the next level, like, how do they get there?
Man, first of all, I think the first time any player says they want to play at the next level, they have no idea what that takes. In most cases. Especially, I mean, to be successful at the next level is a whole nother thing, but to even get there, people don't understand how difficult that is. And I don't care what level of college basketball you're talking about, because there are players everywhere. There are guys, I mean, there's NAIA guys that can play with the D1 guys, and there's D3 guys that can play with the D1 guys, and JUCO guys that can play with the D1, and people don't understand that. And just playing at the next level at any sport is difficult enough, but I mean, it requires sacrifice, and that would be my advice, is just there's sacrifice. There's, you talk about Pepper being at the gym every night at 7 o'clock.
Right.
And, you know, guys waking up early and getting to the gym at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and getting, you know, and not just getting shots up.
Right.
Because there's a difference in getting shots up and actually getting a workout in that is making you better as a basketball player.
Yeah, very true.
Because I think anybody can lazily throw up 100 shots.
Right.
But I mean, if you're, you know, mindset and in the right place, you're not going to get any better doing that.
Right.
You know, that's not actually improving. But I mean, so just it requires sacrifice, and it requires a level of, it requires work ethic that, I mean, most people don't understand or don't know. They don't know it's like that.
Right.
And so that would be my advice to people, to kids that say they want to get to the next level, is there's going to be sacrifice, and I mean, you're going to work harder at that than you've probably worked at anything in your whole life.
Yep, that's true. One thing I like to tell kids is that greatness is formed when the bleachers are empty.
Oh yeah.
They're discovered when it's full.
Yeah. No doubt.
They're not formed when the bleachers are full.
Yep.
All right, Coach, I'm gonna get you out of here. Thank you again for your
man.
time. Just speaking of being uncomfortable, I got one last question for you.
Okay.
Put you on the spot.
Yep.
All right, the whole world is watching.
I've been talking about kids got to be uncomfortable, so I mean that's fair. That's fair.
Right. So here you go. Jordan or LeBron?
Oh, LeBron.
Oh, LeBron.
I know that's a very hot take, and I feel like that shows my age a little bit too. But
so I was sitting here like, okay, yeah, he's gonna pick LeBron because he probably never even saw Jordan play other than The Last Dance.
Yeah. Never saw him play live, obviously, but man, he's 41. Man.
Yeah.
He's 41, and I just think there's so many aspects of the game that he is the best at. It's LeBron.
Yes. I mean, I'm a LeBron fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good. People always try to knock him for the lost championships, but then when I say, well, who's the best NFL quarterback? Tom Brady. Well, you know he's lost 3 times in the Super Bowl.
But and another thing, so yeah, he's lost. He's 4-6 in the finals, right?
Right.
Brian. Okay, but that's 6 times he made it all the way to the finals. So you're telling me not making it to the finals is better than losing in the finals?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either. I always say numbers don't lie, just people's feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Coach Mitchell, I really, truly appreciate your time.
Man. Thank you.
All right.
And that wraps up another episode of the Discipleship Hoops podcast. If today's conversation added value to you, do me a favor, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode with a coach, a parent, or athlete who needs to hear it. We're building something bigger than basketball here. We're building leaders. If you or your business would like to sponsor an upcoming episode and partner with us in impacting the next generation, visit our website at www.jimmyLLucas.com or send us a direct message. We love to connect. Until next time, keep raising the standard, keep leading with purpose, and remember, the game is the platform, leadership is the mission. Believe, build, ball.